What up, what up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm MoedotJ. We are locked in. This is episode 8 of the Shy. And man, before we even get started, y'all know I rock with the Shy, but come on, can we get one male character that isn't so weak, man? I'm like, dog, everybody on here is getting played. They all, like, I ain't never seen nothing like that in my life. But it is what it is. But before we get into this episode, shout out to the notification gang. If you're new to the channel, you'll be a part of this. Hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Hit the like button, it's the easiest thing you can do. Now, last week we seen Kevin was getting hurt by his new boo. But she was like, you know, you could take my number. Papa, he's still trying to get his girl back. And, you know, our favorite open relationship couple, Emmy and Tiff, they still trying to get on the right track. So let's see how they do it this week. This is episode 8 of the Shy. We start the episode off with Emmett sitting at the house. Lord knows where Tiff is. But Love Jones comes on, so he hurry up and he calls Kiesha. Kiesha, our movie is on. It's on. Now, this Love Jones scene is where Lorenz Tate comes over to Nia Long's house and he brings her that CD. Because, you know, hey, he trying to get his way back in there. So he's like, oh, the CD you was looking for? Here you go. So he's on the phone and he's talking. He's doing it with Kiesha. He's doing the rose. Now, he asked her a few things. She's like, yeah, you know, I really needed this laugh because we know Kiesha, she's been down at this point with trying to figure out what's going on in life. She got her son. She named him Ronnie. She's still having to work, but she's still in that, you know, that new mother stage. So this was a good way to get her mind off of it. But then, you know, Emmett being Emmett, he goes off with it like, how you think the sex was? She's like, boy, bye. Kevin's in the room. He's calling old girl. Oh, hey, I don't know if you got that that first message, but it's the second one. Just checking in on you. Now, Kiesha comes in. She looks at him like, don't be thirsty. And Kev, he's just going through so much. And this is why I say you need a father figure in your life, because Kev needs a man to talk to about this situation. His sister tells him, don't be thirsty. But he's like, okay, well, if you had to choose between me and Jake and just pretend I'm not your brother, who would you pick? And he's like, oh, you would pick Jake because he's a bad boy. And then Kiesha tells him, well, sometimes us girls, we like the bad boy, you know? And Kevin's like, oh, man. Now, we all know how this goes. They get with the bad boy early, they mess up their lives, and then they want to come back to the good guy. See, a man would have been able to tell Kev that, but he's just going off his sister. And he also calls her out. Well, why haven't you gave the guy at your job a date? Because he's a good guy at this point. Emmett gets off the phone with Kiesha. Now, he's trying to find out where Tiff is. Now, she's out with Dante, and y'all know how I feel. Anybody with the name Dante, keep your woman away from him. He got the chains on. Now, they're drunk. They out wilding out. He's like, Tiff, where you at? You coming home? She's like, nah, I'm out. I'm drinking. I can't drive. Now, you hear Dante in the background talking about, I'll take you home. And this just makes Emmett mad. This is another man on here that's just super weak. Your wife out here wilding out. Yeah, y'all in an open relationship, but the only thing open is her. And she got a boyfriend. So she's like, nah. And you hear Dante, oh, man, you know what I'm saying? She ain't coming home. So Emmett just gets upset and he hangs up. There's no way I'm going through. Man, I'd be damn my wife out here wilding out like that. Now, Papa, he's still over here looking at Maisha. We know she's blowing up. She's getting followed. She got, what, 8,000 likes? I ain't had 8,000 likes on the picture in about like 2 years, but it is what it is. Jake's like, okay, she's straight. Papa says, man, she's always looked good. You just confused by the filter, man. You simple-minded. But we know Papa, he thinks he's the relationship guy. And Jake, he's trying to get everything right with Gemma, but it's still... Their relationship is still iffy. This is more of the bad boy situation that Kev was talking about. We know Jake is the tougher out of the two, and he does more ignorant stuff than Kev would do. Now, Jake is trying to tell Papa, yeah, you know, I'm trying to do right with Gemma. And Papa just, oh my goodness, every time he talks, it's like, Papa, shut up. He's talking about, yeah, man, I'm just trying to be better for Gemma. And he's talking, yeah, well, Gemma got you this way, man. She making you the man that we always knew you could be while he's sweeping the floor. And Jake is like, Papa, be quiet, because all this stuff that you're talking, it's not even working for you and Maisha. So all that flapping and blah, 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 it ain't gonna work. Emmett went to sleep. You know his mind was racing the whole night. His girl's out with a dude named Dante, so he decides to get up in the morning and make a full breakfast. Bacon, eggs, we got toast, grits, fresh OJ. Tiffany comes in, smelling like alcohol, sex from last night. And he's talking about, yeah, don't nobody know how to make your breakfast like this. Fellas, listen to me. At this point, it's over with. You lost your woman. She's out here wilding out, sleeping with another dude majority of the nights. You over here cooking breakfast. This is why side dudes don't respect the main dude, because they can do all the fun stuff on the side, and she's got to go back to the main dude, and you got to do all of this. And the bad thing is, you know she's doing it, but he's like, go upstairs, take a hot shower before you come back down. In my head, I'm thinking, I'm cooking for myself. The hell with what she's doing. I'm about to get my things in order, and I'm up out of this. Back to Lovebird Papa. Now, Papa walks all the way over to Maisha's house from work. Hey, Queen. She's like, don't call me that. Fellas, stop that. Stop that. Even she tells him, I don't want to be called that. And he's like, well, that's who you really are. I'm like, all that's not going to work for you, man. It's just not going to work. But they're talking to each other, and he tells her that he misses her. And she's like, I miss you too. But long story short, she says, I just still need some time to myself, because she has this new fame and she wants to see where it goes because it's her career. And Papa has to understand that. And he's like, all right, well, just know if there's anything you need to talk about, I'm here for you. See, that's all you had to do is just hit her up, because Jake recommended, just talk to her. Hit her up. Hey, is everything all right? Just letting you know I'm here. You didn't have to walk all the way over there for her to just tell you that she doesn't want to be back with you. Come on, Papa. Jake and Trig, I like their relationship. Trig is really trying to look out for his brother. Now, Jake is like, hey, man, if I had some money, now I'd give me some new clothes. Trig was like, no, you need to be working on them grades. He was like, yeah, but you won't let me get a job. He said, because you're getting C's in school, so obviously you ain't working on them grades. But he gets on Jake and he's like, what you did to Kev, that's bad, man. That's your boy. You're supposed to talk to him about these kind of things. He's like, yeah, but why you and Shad ain't talking? So he's getting Trig to talk to Shad, because we know Trig and Shad, they had that falling out because Shad, he found out that Imani was a trans. So for him, he was like, oh man, he started getting disrespectful with Trig, who let him live with him. So I don't understand that. So they both made an agreement that they'll talk to their old homeboy if the other one does. And then he gets up, he got this Gucci box. I'm gonna have to start wearing me some designer, because every time I look up, you got Gucci, Versace, Billionaires Boys Club. I'm like, damn, everybody rich in this thing. Emmett, Papa, and Kev, they all meet up at Smokey's. And Emmett, he's trying to get some advice, so he was looking for Papa, because Papa, he's gonna give them relationship advice. Most of it, you're not gonna use it in real life, but he can still give you some sound information. And even Kev calls Emmett out, like, why are you getting information from us? Well, you a grown man. But that's neither here or there. And he's like, man, things ain't really going good for me. Kev brings up him and Gemma's situation, and everybody's like, ah, bro, that's over with, man. You're not gonna get Gemma back. She with Jake, and Jake can fight, so you got to be careful with that. Damn, Kev is hurt. Everybody lost their women. So that's what this episode is really on. All these men trying to get their women back, but none of them have the proper guidance. Christian's been trying to get at Kiesha for a while. And Kiesha, she's been kind of distant from it, because we know the trauma that she has. So she's trying to get readjusted to being in the world. Now he's like, I know you have things going on, and I respect all that. I know things can be hard, but I like to take you out sometime outside of this 15 minutes, breaks that we be having. She's looking at him like, I really don't know. But you remember Kev was like, hey, you got to give old boy a try if you don't like the quote unquote bad boys. So they're sitting there, and Christian, he could probably have a lot of women. I mean, he seemed like a cool dude, but he chooses Kiesha. So we're going to see where that goes. Papa wants to throw a party. So he tells Kev, look, get Maisha to come to this party. He's like, oh, okay. He gets over to Maisha's house, and we know that they used to date when they were younger. I'm talking about kids. So none of that happens. And these two were talking like it was something when they were in their 20s. He's like, yeah, ever since we broke up, you didn't came up. She's like, yeah, I'm the one that gave you your swag. I'm like, man, get out of here. Y'all kids ain't doing nothing. But he's like, all right, listen, Papa really likes you. And she's like, I still like Papa, but it's just different now that I got some fame. People look at me differently. And he's like, I could see that. But if you could come to this party that we're having. And she says, I'll think about it. Because also what she wants Kev to understand and wants him to tell Papa is, I don't want to overshine Papa, but I also want this to be my moment. Like, I worked to get this, so I want to shine on my stuff too. So they come to agreement. She's like, all right, I might show up to this party. So Kev was like, all right, thank you. Trig pulls up to the shop. Let me get 2 number 2s, or no, make it 2 number 3s with some fries, extra crispy. And you know, Emmett, he says, well, you know, you ain't got to pay for this, brother. I got you. He's like, nah, man, I support black business. But now Emmett lays it on him. Hey, man, I got this open relationship thing, and it really ain't working. Trig's like, oh, man, well, you get to do whatever you want. He's like, yeah, but Tiff is out here, and she got a dude that got some bread. And Trig breaks it down to him exactly how it needs to be broken down. Fellas, there's always going to be dudes with more money than you. It's going to be dudes that are going to be able to buy more things than you, that women are going to be attracted to. But if you a genuine dude and you straight up, then it doesn't matter about the money. He tells them, spoiler with your heart. Because at the end of the day, that money going to get tricked off to her, to other women, and they ain't really about nothing. But if the woman goes off with something like that because she's materialistic, then obviously you didn't need her in the first place. Okay, Christian in here, he talking to something in there. Okay, she's straight too. You got Kiesha in the back looking like, who's he talking to? And they up there laughing. You know, women, when they see you laughing with another woman, they getting upset. So she's like, man, what the heck? She hugs Christian and then she leaves. Kiesha comes over. She's like, who was that? Y'all must have been, you know, said talking or something. He's like, oh, we dated back in middle school, but she's just cool people. And he's trying to tell Kiesha, you have to trust me. I understand where you're coming from, and your trust may not be there, but you can't treat everybody like the last person or the person that did this to you. He's just trying to say, hey, me and her, we cool. It's nothing more. And she's like, oh, okay. But it's still going to take that, you know, it's going to take a while for her to get that trust for him, because it looked like they were having a good time. Y'all thought I was playing. They got Kev running around the city. He finds Gemma. Gemma, I have to confess my love to you. I love you. I'm like, come on, Kev, you can't do that. And she says, you can't just run up to women and say that. That's like harassment. Tell them I can't live without you. And he's like, man, look, I just love you. And why'd you choose Jake over me? You have to choose between one of us. And she's like, I still have love for you. She's just not in love with you. So he hears, oh, you still love me? And like I said, it's love for you. I have love for everybody watching this. Thank y'all. Hit that like button. But I'm not in love with y'all. And he's like, well, can you come to this party? Please, just could you come? So you got this man out here begging. And she's like, I'll think about it. But, you know, if she gonna pull up, Jake gonna pull up too. Emmett takes the advice from Trig. Spoiler with your heart. See, he does know things like he did cook the breakfast the way she liked it. Now he's doing Love Jones because he knows that they like to do the little role playing. So they come in, he does the whole role. Oh, that CD you was looking for? Here it go. Now Tiff, she gets into character and it's like, okay, cool, it's there. But at this point, he's doing more to save the relationship than she is. And for me, if it's not equal on both parts, and I've been there before so I can talk on this, if it ain't equal on both sides, then it really ain't worth it. But fortunately for me, I was smart enough to see the things early enough, and I made my situation work, and I got up out of that unscathed. Kiesha's over here breastfeeding little Ronnie. Okay, cute little baby. At the same time on Instagram, going through my dog Christian's photos. Now, I have a strict policy on when I meet a woman, yeah, we have each other's Instagram, but once we start getting serious, there's no point in watching each other's Instagrams because all that's going to do is bring unnecessary drama. We're adults. You're just going to have to trust me. But while I'm single, you can have it. But she calls Christian and she like, you know, I'm going to take you up on that date. He's like, all right, cool. She said, where we going to go? Hey, it's a surprise. She's like, no, tell me. I don't like surprises. But then he's like, if I tell you, then it won't be a surprise. So she's like, oh, no, don't tell me. So she's actually going to go on this date. And I feel like that's good that she's getting out the house. Now, if you aren't catching on, it's the Love Jones theme. Now, Emmett and Tiff, they're still in row. When they go outside, Tiff is like, where's your motorcycle? He's like, I ain't got all the money for that. But on the other hand, Kiesha's with Christian and he has the motorcycle. Now, you remember the opening scene was Kiesha and Emmett on the phone talking about Love Jones. So they both have little parts of it. Now, this could be foreshadowing and we could see them back together in the future, or at least for one episode. We're going to see. And where does Christian and Kiesha go? They go to the music store and he's listening to some soulful music. She's like, oh, I like this. And she says, why does it feel like I'm always in a cheesy sitcom with you? He's like, because I'm your leading man. Christian got some moves. He got some moves. And I like what they're doing with the direction of Love Jones here. It's time for the party. Now, Papa and Kev, they bought all this stuff. They got the party ready to go. But nobody is in the party. It's just the fog machine. And it's too much fog. Maisha's like, why isn't anybody in here? He was like, oh, well, Queen, I wanted to wait for you to get here before anyone could come in. Come on, Papa. You supposed to have the people in here. It's supposed to be lit. So when Maisha show up, everybody like, oh, shoot, Maisha in the building. Because when she walked by, everybody like, who is she? No one knew who she was. But the party is supposed to be lit. Emmett and Tiff, they go to the comedy show. Now, the comedian's up there. He's like, okay, we got some married people in here. We got some couples in here. You see Emmett, yeah, we over here. We've been married 11 months. And the comedian, he starts going in, making jokes, talking about, yeah, man, that's the thing about relationships. I can make jokes and your girl gonna be thinking about me. Later on tonight, you can go home, she gonna be thinking about me. And you can see Emmett, he has a thought in his head like, man, Tiffany really is out here wilding out. And the comedian is just going in, going on and on and on. And Emmett's like, hey, nah, brother, you know what I'm saying? This is my wife, man. It ain't even like that. But really it is. Because Dante beating that thing out. Now, Papa and Maisha, they aren't together. And Maisha, she in there jigging. It's her party, basically. Some dude's dancing with her. And Papa's like, man, who is that dancing with my lady? Kev's like, hey, chill, bro. Just let her be, man. Because Kev actually went over there and talked to Maisha. And he's like, she's just enjoying life right now. Y'all aren't together. Let her rock. But Papa doesn't listen. I told y'all, he just be blah, blah, blah. But he really don't know what's going on. He goes over, hey, man, you got business with my lady? She's like, we are not together. And Papa's sitting there and the dude's looking like, man, sucker. And Maisha goes back about her business. He goes back over to Kev. Kev puts his arm around him. Man, you got to give women their space, man, so they can find their rhythm. And when they ready, they'll be ready. He looks over at Kev like, when did you become the love doctor? Kev was like, you know, I'm learning. Gemma and Jake, they show up. And Kev, he can kind of see it, that peripheral. I won't even say peripheral because he got his whole head turned. Like, okay, I can see her. But there's a young lady in here. She's like, oh, let's dance, Kev. So he in here. And of course, you know, Gemma's looking like, who Kev dancing with? He ain't got no swag. Who over there dancing with? And Jake's looking at her like, dang, you looking all over there, ain't you? Back to Kiesha and Christian. They're in there. They're in a little poetry spot. But out of nowhere, Kiesha, she kind of gets a panic attack and she runs outside. Now, Christian, he's like, all right, let me take the right approach to this. He comes over and he consoles her. And he's like, is everything all right? You know, because he's still trying to build that trust with her. And he even asks for consent, like, hey, it's all right if I hold you? And she's like, yeah, because he sees that she's going through things, but he's trying to get her reintegrated into the real world. Now, it's going to be these little moments that she has these little panic attacks. Because, you know, with PTSD, that trauma is going to always be on your mind. But they slide back over to Christian's spot. And, you know, they got the music playing. Keisha's in here dancing. It's her first real interaction outside the house, you know what I'm saying? Especially without the kid that isn't work related. They in there, they grooving. And then he sits down, he chills. But he has a camera over there and she picks it up like, let me take some pictures of you. You know what I'm saying? Love Jones reference. Now, one thing about Maisha, she's still part of the crew. She's a rider. So she goes over to Gemma. Like, I always knew you wasn't shit. Gemma's like, excuse me? She's like, why you got Jake and Kev over here fighting over you? She's like, well, I don't. But Maisha makes it clear, you didn't choose. You just was with Kev, and then the next day, I won't even say the next day, later on that evening, you were with Jake kissing him. Like, you should have said, hey, Kev, we're gonna break up. I don't think this could work. And then you and Jake get together. But you just didn't say anything and went over. Now, Maisha, she's gonna look out for the crew, and she calls Gemma out. And this needed to be done because Gemma, she's really out here just wilding out like, man, forget it. I'm going to do what I want to do. Kev and Jake, they actually get the conversation that they needed. And the conversation was real simple. Jake was like, what's up, man? Kev was like, look, man, I just want Gemma to be happy, no matter who she's with. And I don't want any hurt to come to her, especially from you. Jake's like, man, I promise. And see, I say this in every show that I watch. If y'all just talk it out, it'll usually work itself out. So they dap each other up, and at least they're cool at this point. This whole party that Papa threw was giving Maisha her flowers. So he brought her up. Everybody was congratulating her because she's doing her thing. And he's trying to show his support. Now, they actually have a one-on-one by the window. And she's telling him, look, you can't fix and change everything. And he's like, well, I can't just sit back and watch you suffer. And she's like, all I need for you to do is be there for me. That's all you need, is that support. It's for someone to actually be there for you and just talk to you about a situation. So Papa, he has to understand that. And that's one thing he has to learn. Gemma finally comes over and apologizes. I'm sorry, kid. And he's like, oh, man. And, you know, he squashed it with his boys. So it's like, hey, it's good. I just want y'all to be happy. But he also tells her, look, when you break up, don't come crawling back to me because I won't be waiting. But you know she's still feeling Kev. It's just that bad boy moment. She wanted to see what that thrill was. And now she's like, maybe I should have stayed with Kev. But she tells him, hey, I know you won't be waiting alone. Now, when I was this age, 14, 15, we weren't really having no issues like this with girls. You know what I'm saying? We had girls, but we were doing other stuff when we were that age, though, man. Like, these kids acting like they're adults. We were still kids. Okay, Christian gets the kiss and Kiesha. It's like, I really enjoyed this time. She's like, I did too. They in the rain. Love Jones. Kissing. Love Jones. They did a good job with these references. The biggest moment of the show. Emmett and Tiffany, they've been having a good time together. Now, we know that she was with Dante last night, but tonight it was just them. And they've been all around the city. They went out. And now, Emmett, he's talking about he wants to upgrade the ring for her. And she's like, oh my God, we're already married. He's like, nah, I just want to, upgrade this ring. I've messed up. I've been cheating, but I'm not going to do it anymore. Now, Tiff, she's like, okay, she's listening to it, but she's not really feeling it. It tells him that you got bad timing. This isn't a movie. This is real life. So for him, he's like, yeah, I don't want us to have an open relationship no more. This is real life. I want it to be you and I. I'm not going to cheat anymore. It's just going to be you and me. And she really tells this man, you have bad timing. This is real life. She'd rather keep a boyfriend than be married to Emmett and just be with Emmett. So Emmett tells her straight up, well, if that's the case, then I don't know if I want to be in this relationship, this marriage anymore. And there you go, episode 8. Emmett did the right thing. I told y'all earlier, I would have been, okay, this is what she's doing. I'm going to make something shake and I'm going to get about this marriage because, man, your wife out here getting smashed by another dude, like on a constant basis, out drinking and then calling you got the nigga in the background. Man, I'd be damned if I'm about to, man, please. But Emmett, he made the right decision. Let me know what y'all think about that. Do you think Emmett should go along with the divorce if they keep this open relationship? Let me know what y'all think. Thanks for watching. I'm MoedotJ. If you like the content on the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Thanks for watching. I'm out.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.